Hi, I am back with part 3 of my Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis Saga. If you do not know where we started on this whole thing, I will give you the basic rundown, but I've been having an issue with my Pochette Metis for a while now, and I've been trying to get it resolved, and I have had a few videos about this so far. So I will link all the previous videos down below, and I'll give you the quick synopsis on what has happened so far and the news that I have now on how to get this thing fixed. So stick with me. The general rundown is that I purchased my Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis in, 2014, 2015. It was new to me, but not new from the store. So I purchased it pre-loved. And it was authenticated, and I knew that it was authentic and so forth. It was really very, very new, to the point where, I mean, the Pochette Metis themselves were very, very new in that they'd only been out like a year or so when I purchased this one. So I got it almost, brand new, but pre-loved. The thing I love the most about it, strangely enough, was the little leather pull tab on the zipper portion of the back of the bag. I adore that. I don't know why they got rid of that. I love that part of it. I just love it. So anyway, that was just it made me so happy that I had that one. It's the only one they had at the time that I bought it, but then all of a sudden it changed. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I have this one. So that has been my very favorite thing about it. Of course, I love the bag too, and how functional it is and all that kind of stuff. So I used the bag a lot for many years. 2019 came around that time. It was blowing up all over the place that the glazing on the Pochette Metis were kind of getting goopy and soft, and you could get imprints in it, and they were looking pretty shaggy. So mine really wasn't that bad. I mean, I saw that it was happening, and I wanted to keep an eye on it and that kind of thing, but I saw it wasn't horrible, but I thought I would just go to my boutique at the time in Illinois and check on it and see what they thought. They looked at it and they said yes, and this was in 2019, May of 2019. They said, yeah, it is definitely doing that, and we can swap it out for you right now if you'd like. And oh, that got me, because I knew that they'd be swapping it out with a newer one, which may or may not have a less, that the canvas might not have been as thick, because mine was just that fresh new from way back when kind of thing. When it first came out, and there was talk about the different canvases kind of maybe being thinner and so forth, and then it didn't have that pull tab, and I just thought, well, let me think about it. I just couldn't pull the trigger on walking out the door with a brand new one at the time, because I loved mine. It had history with me, and I loved everything about it. So I didn't. I left, I walked out the door, and life got in the way, and then 2020 hit, and we all know how that worked, and then all sorts of life changes happened, and I even moved. So here we are in 2024. This actually, I started this whole process of checking into it in 2023. I have moved, and so all my bags were stored away for a small bit of time, but not in the box. I made sure they were just in the dust bags and so forth, because I know that keeping in boxes is not good. So we moved to Florida, and after doing so, I got my closet redone, and so we got California closets. I was putting all my bags on display, and I noticed then that the handle, the strap for my Pochette Metis that I had just kind of looped up and put inside the bag, when I went to take it out, it was stuck to the inside of the lining of the bag slightly, but it was enough to be like, oh my gosh, it's because of the goopiness, I guess, the softness of the glazing. I'm like, it has changed a lot in that amount of time since I last noticed it or last used it. So I took it in to the store here in Orlando at Mall at Millennia. And I just brought the bag in. I said, what can be done? I brought this in at one time in 2019, and they said they could replace it. I'm not sure what the deal is now. And they're like, absolutely not, no. First of all, they asked where, they asked for my information to look up when I would, when I purchased it. And I told them when I purchased it, but then and they were looking me up, and I could tell that they were looking up to see the information on when I purchased it from the store. So then I said, no, it was not purchased from a Louis Vuitton boutique. It was purchased pre-loved. That shut down everything. They said, no, there's absolutely nothing we can do. I said, can I get it repaired? I'll pay for repairs. Even though it was going to be switched out in 2019, that got me a little bit, but I thought, okay, maybe something changed, whatever, I get it. Things happen. But I asked if it could be repaired, you know, could I pay for repairs? Could they check that out? They said no, it can't be done. The glazing cannot be replaced on the bag. And really, I've heard of so many people having this done. I'm like, this is strange to me, whatever. Nope, they just shut me down. No, it's not gonna happen, absolutely not. Sorry, we can't help you. So that was just the most unbelievable thing. I left the store and I filmed a little bit, and that's in one of the videos that I've already shown, where I was just completely confused. I didn't understand that reaction. I didn't understand the answers. It made no sense that this was the case, and wasn't sure what to do. So after then showing that video, I heard it from a bunch of you and all your different experiences with the same situation. And what it seems like is that often people are getting different responses depending upon which boutique or which store they go to. Some have, called customer service with Louis Vuitton and it's turned out perfectly fine, immediate replacement. Some people have had to send their bags in to have them looked at first, blah, 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 blah. So I thought, this is what I'll do. I did contact the people in the Chicago area where I was before, that store, who originally wanted to switch it out. But because I didn't do it, there was no record of the conversation. It's not like they put it in that they offered and I said no. There was no record of that whatsoever. I didn't know who I was speaking to, which U.S.A. it was at the time. They didn't know. There was nothing they could do to help me. They suggested I call and talk to the people at the care center, the digital care expert. So that's what I did. I called and made an appointment for a FaceTime situation with a care expert at Louis Vuitton. So I did that, and that was my second video where I was speaking with her and trying to explain my situation and everything and what could be done. Well, she basically said what I would need to do is to send the bag in, and they gave me all the information on how to do that. And they would have their, the atelier and go straight there where they completely are the ones who know every single inch of that bag and know how to repair everything. They would take a look at it, totally decide what needed to be done. So I'm like, okay, that's what we'll do. Because all along I said, if I need to pay for repairs, I'll pay for repairs. It wasn't that I was trying to get it all free or anything like that. Although I was offered that from the very start, but that was in 2019. Anyway, so I went that route and I did send the bag in. So I was waiting, it was like 3 to 4 weeks, she said it would take to come back with an answer. So I got that phone call and we chatted for a while. And that's when she said that, I'll show you this. Basically, it's been assessed by the experts and it's determined that repair services are available, and they would change the complete flap, change the shoulder strap, and reglaze the entire bag, okay? So they do mention, and I knew that this was the case and I didn't want this to have happened, but the entire flap includes the whole back with the zipper, so there would be no vachetta, little pull tab, which I was trying to save that in the first place. And the whole top handle would be a different color, plus the little top bit on the clasp where it clasps to the bottom bit. That would be a new leather. So I would have 2 bits of new leather on this bag, which would be the big handle and that little bit in the front. And then the 2 side bits of leather would be the same. So I'm not sure how noticeable that would be. And I was just like, great, it's gonna be like a Frankenstein of a bag, So here I am weighing my options. So it's a brand new strap, which is wonderful because those straps can be used for everything and anything, all kinds of bags. So it's great to just have that strap. So that thing is, and I could have just gotten a strap and not have them do the bag, but then the bag is completely useless to me because it's seriously sticky and that stuff is coming off on other things. So there's no way I could even use the bag. It was useless at this point. So I had to decide if I don't do anything and just, because you're kind of mad, in a way. It's like, darn it, other people have gotten this replaced. I was offered a replacement. Now they're saying no, blah, 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 blah. It's a little bit annoying, right? But then you step back and you understand, okay, I get it. It's a business. People were probably going out and buying pre-loved bags and having them switched out with brand new. That's not fair. So it's always the bad apples that ruin the whole bunch, So that probably happened. And as a business, they can't, condone that. But it's just interesting how they're all different. People are getting different responses for this. But these were my options. Okay, so I have to go with what I'm offered. So I was offered they would repair this. The repair would be $1,020 for the entire glazing, an entirely new flap, which would include the new bits of leather. And what was the other thing? Oh, the strap. And that was my choice. I can either choose to do that and spend the extra money and have a bag, or not and just cut it off as a loss. So it took me a bit. It took me a few days to figure this out, really what I wanted to do and what I even want the bag looking different with the different kinds of leather. And like I say, it would look like a Frankenstein kind of a bag. I don't even know. But the curiosity of it all got to me more than anything. And I didn't want to be without the bag entirely, because if that's just a wash, I'm losing a whole lot more money that way. If I do the repair, I get a bag that's usable with a brand new strap and all new glazing and all that stuff. I can totally use it, and it would cost about as much of what I spent on it at the beginning, and this extra would add up to be what a new one would cost. So I'm like, okay, total. So I'm like, all right, so I decided to do it. So we're gonna get this repair done. Again, it's still annoying. But anyway, I'm going to get this repair done, and we will see what it turns out to look like. It might just be a mess, but so then I'll be working hard on trying to get the leathers to match up eventually. It's gonna be a project, it really is. But I didn't want to just let it go. I really didn't. I just decided that, you know what, let's see this thing to the end and see how it goes, if nothing else for experiment purposes. And I'll bring you along to show you exactly what happens. So that's what we're going to do. They are now going to be repairing it, and I'll get it back when I get it back. And as soon as I do, you'll be the first ones with me to see it and to see what in the heck, it looks like, and what I might need to do. So if any of you have any great ideas on how to get my leathers to match up, to quickly get that leather to not look so new, that'd be great. Or maybe I won't mind it, because the little tiny pieces on the side won't really show much, and maybe if we're lucky, it won't look so different and so strange, and I won't need to match the leathers up as quickly as possible. But we'll totally see. But that's what's happening. I wanted to keep you guys posted. I promised I would. And that's the thing. So yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of responses saying, oh gosh, that's awful, because I went in and did this and it all worked out great. And other people are going to be like, yeah, that happened to me too. And the responses have run the gamut of what people have experienced with this. And that, I think, is my biggest complaint. I totally understand that I bought this bag pre-loved, not new. And I totally understand that comes with responsibility. And so I was totally willing to pay for what needed to be paid for. I was so honored, and whatever that they just were going to replace it in 2019 for me, that was a beautiful thing. And again, that got ruined, I believe, by a lot of people taking advantage of that. However, if you're lucky and you have a boutique or a store that is willing to still do that for you, that's fantastic. So I'm very, very happy for you. However, that is not the case for all of us. And we have to deal with what we're offered. And so that was what I was offered. So my biggest problem is that it's not the same across the board, I guess. I feel like a company that large should have some sort of something in place where this is the policy and this is what you do. And it has to be fair all along, all the way across the board. That would be nice, because it's so frustrating for people to have all these different experiences and be treated so differently with the same situation. But you know what? That is life, and that's how people treat people all over the place. But I just still feel like it would be better as a company not to have that ambiguity when it comes to what's going to happen next. So as for my Louis Vuitton store here near me, I don't know. I still plan to go there. I still plan to look at bags there. I still tend to feel like I want to go check things out there and stuff. I don't want to completely, wipe them out of my brain. They're really close to me, and, I can go see things and so forth there. However, yeah, I have a little bit of bad feelings about that, because they told me that it wasn't even possible to replace the glazing on that bag. And of course it is. They're doing it. Also, I found out from the Louis Vuitton Care Expert person that the manager there could have easily taken my bag and sent it in for me to have it looked at instead of me having to go through this whole thing. She could have easily done that, but she just shut me down. So perhaps they run their stores differently. I don't feel like that's a very good business model that they should do that, but perhaps they do. And the managers can just make up the rules however they want. And if that's the case, then that's the case. That's the way it is. But that surprised me and that shocked me a little bit. And I do feel like that was not the best customer service or anything else, you know, to be honest. It was not a good experience. And I don't have a good feeling or, you know, anything great to say. I have spoken with several of the different sales associates there. They're all very kind, very nice, very helpful, greet you well, get to you as soon as possible. You know, the store in itself is fantastically fine. But this issue and so forth that I had to deal with was not the best experience. But I'm not going to just throw out the whole, you know, throw out the baby with the bathwater. It happens every once in a while. You deal with a person that isn't working with you or that you just don't, it just doesn't work. So, and that happens. I'm not going to completely dismiss an entire company because of a bad experience. So that is where we stand right now. I just want to keep you posted to see what you guys think of the situation and to let you know where we stand, because this is exactly where we are now. I've got the paper here. Like I said, I'll put that up there for you to read the full thing if you like. And that is what we're going to do. So as soon as I get any more information or get the bag back, I'll jump on and show you for sure. Thank you guys for going along with me on this whole thing. It's been quite an experience, and I love hearing your stories and how things worked for you or didn't. And I'll be talking to you guys again real soon about it. Thanks so much. Bye.